Good morning to you. It's 8:47 at iFiber One News Radio. We focus on Shelton this week and every week about this time. Brought to you by our community credit union. I've got two great guests in today, and this past Monday, the Shelton City Commission authorized the Public Works Department to move forward with proposals to expand the road diet on Railroad from 1st to 7th. And I have from Public Works, Gregory, and from the Visioning Committee, Melanie Bakala. And good morning to you both. How you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
This is a big-time deal as we move into this, and we've seen a little bit about this already from 3rd Street to 5th Street, and so you've gotten the responses from the community. You've gone through the visioning projects and the ideas there. And now we're moving forward on this. So let's start, Craig, with you. And when are we going to start to see some of this extended work going on?
You will start to see some work actually happening tomorrow. We will start on the removal of the 4th Street traffic signal tomorrow. We will be starting on the side streets and then moving on to Railroad Avenue and actually removing the signal and the mast arms and a couple of the poles and the cabinet down there. So you will start to see that as soon as tomorrow.
That's pretty impressive, and that was just one of the big things that was implemented on this. And Melanie, the reasons behind the taking away of this, what were people talking about when we talk about this?
Well, this goes back, I think, over 2 years ago, where a partnership between Green Diamond Simpson, the city, and a group of business owners, we raised the money to do a study. Mm-hmm. And it was, groups got together and went through downtown Shelton with the Walkable Livable Institute. We worked with Forterra. And what we came up with after a long Saturday planning was, gosh, if we could do anything, what would we do? Uh-huh. And from that, we really got a comprehensive plan. And so we put together a visioning committee of stakeholders from businesses, city, county, transit, to really figure out, okay, how do we implement this? We had heard from a lot of people that this is going to be another plan that sits on the shelf. And the visioning committee was very committed to making sure that we took some action.
So we're seeing, too, that this is a cost savings because this signal was pretty old. Is that right, Craig?
It was almost 30 years old and very outdated, and we were having some issues with it moving forward, finding parts for it, and just kind of putting a Band-Aid on it for right now. So, yeah, the cost was going to be around $60,000 to put a new signal cabinet in there. So just a business decision. It wasn't warranted. And at this point, we actually found that 3rd Street was busier than 4th Street, not only for traffic, but also for pedestrian traffic. So we didn't really see a need for the signal and just the expansion of the road diet. It made sense to put in some turn lanes and help the flow of traffic moving forward.
So how will Railroad then kind of transform? Will there be the middle turn lanes that you see now on 3rd through 5th, and that's going to be extended all the way from 1st through 7th? Is that how it's going to work, Craig?
It'll be slightly different concept. Okay. There will be an actual center turn lane for left-hand turn movements across traffic, and then there will be a straight-through lane next to that.
One of the other things that is a change is the highly unpopular back-in parking slots. This got a lot of pushback. Were you thinking that it would be this big of a contentious issue for folks to back in parking, Melanie?
We didn't think the back-in angle parking would be that contentious. We knew it wouldn't be popular.
Sure.
But it's really why we did a test.
Yeah.
And so that's the value of being able to try something. And people love the crosswalks, love the color crosswalks, hate the back-in angle parking. And we heard them, and the city is gonna fix that.
So we're going to go back to the parallel parking, and then it's going to be pushed back to the sidewalk. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
We originally had what was supposed to be a sidewalk extension off of the curb, and we have found that didn't work either.
Okay.
So we're going to push those parked cars back to the curb and get rid of that and move a buffered lane to assist in the parallel parking out on the actual traveled lane.
Oh, I see. So there will be a little bit of a space for those parallel parking cars to get over to continue the flow of traffic.
Correct.
You mentioned the sidewalk or the crosswalks, and we do have the ones that are kind of a non-slip roadway paint. Is that what we'll see up and down Railroad between 1st and 7th? That same type of...
That's what you'll see from 1st to 7th, and the City Commission also voted to expand what we had proposed, which was just to paint the ones on Railroad Avenue. They voted Monday night to actually paint all of the crosswalks, even on the side streets. So up and down Railroad, you will see those the length of Railroad from 1st to 7th.
You happy, the Visioning Committee happy with the work that the city has been doing to get these? I know that test last year was quite eye-opening for a lot of residents here in the city, and now it's been, I guess, probably been a year pretty much, and pretty responsive the way that we can get things done like this.
Gosh, Jeff, I can't say enough, because the committee really was in place to make sure something happened. We did have a culture in our city at that point of really not making things happen. And we have a leadership now that they have really taken the reins. And the committee itself has sunsetted outside of the fact that they bring us together to give feedback on ideas. But instead of us driving it, the city's driving it, which is really where it should be.
So we are likely to see some work starting tomorrow. And we've got Forest Festival coming up in just a month or so. Is this all going to be finished in time for that?
We are hoping that the majority of it will be finished by then. We may have an issue down at 1st Street with the transition. The 1st Street section is actually a state highway. So we are working with the state to come up with a plan from 1st Street to Front Street, which is actually state highway, to get them to make some changes over on their side to better get that flow working from 1st to 7th for us. So we're working with them, but that might be a fairly slow process. But you will see the majority of the work done before Forest Festival.
Be a very nice change again to downtown Shelton here, a little more. I mean, when you talk about this, is it a sense of bringing more community down into the city, or to kind of slow the pace of things down so people are more comfortable walking around? I guess my question is, when you first started this, what was the kind of the reason?
We had a 4-lane road going up and down our main street. And it is exactly what you said, Jeff. It's having a walkable community. It's also, slowing cars down, because if they slow down, they can see what's there. And hopefully more people will slow down, get out of their cars, and spend some more time in downtown Shelton.
Do you know how many parallel parking spots there'll be? Is it a similar number to what's now in there? And especially on that back-end parking, how many more slots will that be?
It will be the same amount of stalls that are there now. On the parallel side, we are getting rid of the yellow boxes that are down there that divide the parallel parking, but we will be extending each parking stall by about 3 feet. So there'll be a little bit more room to maneuver in and get backed in there, or get parallel parked in there. So should work out fairly well. And I think the big thing to take away from this also, like Melanie said before, it was a test from 3rd to 5th.
Yeah.
This is an expansion of that test, and eventually we would like to do a bigger revitalization program or project from 1st all the way out to 101.
Wow.
So we are looking at this as still taking feedback and trying to figure out the final product before we actually get to a point where we do repaving of Railroad Avenue and new sidewalks and all of that kind of stuff. So we should have it figured out by then, after doing all of these tests, to actually come up with a final product.
Crews will start working on this tomorrow, so make sure when you see them out, give them a break, slow down, and move out of their way when they're working. And we'll continue to update folks on these traffic revisions as they come down for this next month. Gregory from Shelton Public Works, and Melanie Bakala, one of the members of the Visioning Committee here, talking about the road diet expansion approval from this past Monday. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for having us.